We have been talking about this movie for weeks and weeks. Robert De Niro plays two different characters.
I thought you were going to do the thing where it's Robert De Niro and Robert De Niro.
They should have made it three. Honestly, go full Nutty Professor. And Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
And Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert De Niro. Just let him play not just these two mobsters. Let him play their moms.
Yeah.
Let him play their grandmas.
Oh.
There should be, because Alto Knights is the movie where Robert De Niro plays two different mobsters who are not twins, but do look pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And they should have went full Nutty Professor, where you have the family scene where the two of them sit down for a family meal and they bring their moms and their uncles and it's all Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
And he walks in, old lady get up, like Rudy Giuliani hosting SNL that time.
Great episode.
You
can say what you will about the man.
Listen, he's fallen. He wouldn't be able to host SNL today, but there was a time where he hosted a very good SNL episode. So give him that. But there was that sketch where he played the Italian grandma. Have De Niro do that in Alto Knights. Play an old Italian grandma, come in with a pot of sauce.
You know he's itching to do it.
Yeah. He wants to do it. Let him put on the house dress.
Yeah.
And come in with a big pot of meatballs. You know, De Niro in Alto Knights should have done a scene where he comes in dressed the same way that Scorsese's mom came in dressed in that Goodfellas scene where she serves them food at 3:00 in the morning when they had a dead body in their trunk.
Yeah.
But now have De Niro pay homage to Miss Scorsese, and now he's playing the old Italian grandma.
And also put his head on a little kid. It's in short pants.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yeah. He should have played a little kid in short pants.
And he's holding his stickball stick.
Yeah.
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 I'm going to go play stickball, Ma.
Yeah.
And it's Scorsese's head.
Yeah. And you know what? De Niro, they should have had the scene in
Not Scorsese. I'm sorry. De Niro's head.
De Niro's head. Scorsese has nothing to do with Alto Knights.
Yeah, you're right.
But De Niro, he should have played the gassy uncle in Alto Knights, where the two De Niro mobsters, they go to the house to visit the uncle.
Yeah.
And the uncle can't stop farting.
Oh, garlic doesn't sit well with him.
Yeah.
Which is terrible for an Italian.
It's so much garlic. And they just keep giving him more garlic.
Yeah.
That's what and listen, we have not seen this movie. We're not critics, huh? This movie is not getting good reviews, nor was it ever expected to. I think at any point in production.
No, this was a sort of labor of love for both De Niro and Zaslav. This was Zaslav's big. I support auteurs.
Yeah, so it's Barry Levinson movie, of course. Best director for Rain Man, right back in '88. Levinson would have won director, best picture for that movie.
Did he win best picture? Did he best director for?
I think so. I think Rain Man won picture, director, and actor.
Let me see.
But he is definitely, in his day, was one of those tippy top directors. He's, not that anymore. I think he's fallen in terms of big name directors, become more of an HBO movie guy at his best the last 20 years. But he was that guy. He was a, top 5, 10 American directors at a point. And Zaslav looked at this. It's the guy who wrote Goodfellas, co-wrote Goodfellas, Barry Levinson, De Niro playing two parts. There was a point where David Zaslav looked at this project and he said, this is Best Picture, 12 nominations, wins 5 Oscars. That's what the Alto Knights was going to be when Zaslav dreamt this deal up on his yacht.
Yeah. Yes, he did win Best Director for Rain Man. You were correct.
So that is where he thought it would be. I got to say, I don't know if De Niro ever thought this movie would be that. I feel like De Niro, and God bless him, he's got a lot of mortgages he's got to pay off, not just for houses, but we're talking for skyscrapers downtown. This man is leveraged out the wazoo, needs cash. Alto Knights was probably a pretty big payday. I'm sure De Niro got paid for playing 2 parts.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
That's why he does this.
Yeah, he's getting 2 acting checks. And he tricked Zaslav into paying him twice as an actor.
Absolutely.
At his highest quote. His whatever he was making in 1985 plus inflation,
Yep.
he had Zaslav pay him that twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as a producer, and probably as an exec producer. I think on Alto Knights, De Niro got paid twice as an actor, plus as a producer, plus as an executive producer.
And he was probably like, I got a guy who will do Crafty.
Yes.
And he came in and he put like a table down.
Yep.
Just put some kind bars on it.
Yep.
And was like, here you go, $200,000.
200. Yeah. Yeah. And guarantee that the Alto Knights, because it takes place in New York, I guarantee they, for locations, used buildings owned by Robert De Niro.
Absolutely.
Holdings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then he charged up the wazoo for those.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for De Niro, no matter what this movie does, no matter how bad the reviews are, no matter how bad the reviews are for De Niro, I don't think it matters because De Niro needed the money, and I'm sure he got paid more than he has since Rocky and Bullwinkle.
So let me ask you about De Niro just in general.
Sure.
You know, would you say he's one of your guys?
He's one of my guys.
Yeah, I would say he's one of my guys.
Yeah, he's one of my guys.
You can't be our age.
Yeah.
And see the movies that we've seen.
Yeah.
And not be like, De Niro's one of our guys,
yeah,
right?
Live the life we've lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he's gone to a point where he's done probably as many bad movies as good movies.
I mean, probably more bad movies
movies
just
than-
if you're looking for just pure quantity.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's had his straight-to-video type run. He probably has 4 movies with Pacino, where it's De Niro and Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Yeah.
They probably have made like 4 movies together that are complete straight-to-Redbox direct that we can't even think of the titles of.
Yeah.
You know, because like they've made Heat together and The Irishman, 2 great movies together.
Mm-hmm.
But I would bet there's 5 to 10 other Pacino De Niro movies that are just the worst movies ever made.
Yeah. So, in your estimation, is there any? Because this is by no means the depths, right? Because it is a major motion picture being released by Warner Brothers on thousands of screens.
Yeah.
So this is by no means his low watermark. It might be a bad movie that might crash and burn.
Right.
But as you said, the direct to PVOD Redbox situations that he's got himself in. But are we to a point where his legacy has become so watered down in the sense that he's had the high highs that we'll always respect him for and everybody will respect him for. But he also gets away with doing total crap. And it's not going to hurt his legacy at this point.
I don't think
Because
it
there
matters.
was already a time where people got upset that he did crap.
Yep.
And now they're over it. And they're just glad he's alive.
Yes.
And glad he's still doing good stuff when he does good stuff.
Yes.
So I feel like he's a guy that's in a really good spot.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what this does. He did The War with Grandpa, which is something that saved theaters.
Yep.
Where's 2?
Where's
Where's
2?
two?
Where's 2? Where's 2?
That's the
we
big
need
question.
that movie. That's the De Niro movie we need.
Is War with Grandpa 2.
Yep.
But, you know, he's able to do stuff like that and then do this. And nothing he does will ever lower the estimation of him more than it already did at the point where he started doing just anything.
Yeah, and listen, he was up for an Oscar, 2 years ago? Killers of the Flower Moon, best picture nominee, and he got the acting nomination. That's the thing. You forget the 15 minutes and Ricochet, not Ricochet. You know, all of the bad action movies.
Killer Elite, is that
Killer
one of them?
Elite. He just got an acting Oscar nomination a year ago. Irishman was up for Best Picture 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And
He's so spectacular in that too.
And the thing about De Niro doing all these movies for paychecks, he's doing movies. He's not hosting a podcast. And I think that's what we have to give an actor like Robert De Niro credit for, even with all these terrible movies he does in between the good ones.
Yeah.
Is that he could be, for money, hosting a podcast. He could be right now on The Ringer hosting a podcast.
Talking
where
to
it's
Kristen Bell.
talking to Kristen Bell, exactly, where it's
Yeah.
Robert De Niro. Hey, I got a great idea for a podcast. It's hanging with De Niro, and it's just me hanging out with my famous friends.
Famous friends. Just talking.
Talking to my famous friends.
Long form interviews.
Yeah, long-form interviews that you won't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that's what he could be doing instead of acting.
And here's the line. He could be interviewing Kristen Bell, Will Arnett,
Yeah, Dax Shepard.
Dax Shepard.
Yeah, Jason Bateman he gets on.
Yeah. Andrew Schultz.
That's by episode 6, De Niro would have Andrew Schultz on.
Yeah.
And that's what he could be doing. Wouldn't you take an Alto Knights or even a much lower, some De Niro straight to Redbox movie
Yeah.
rather than a podcast in which he's interviewing Andrew Schultz?
Because
those are the choices for Robert De Niro.
I would love to see the episode where he talks to Ron Funches.
We would get that. If this was a weekly show, we would get to that point.
Yeah.
We would get to that point.
Yeah. De Niro City. I mean, that is sort of the heat Pacino De Niro
Yeah.
of this podcast generation is you're sitting across from Ron Funches.
Yeah. And then he would have to go on all the other podcasts to promote his podcast.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing you're getting with that, opening that door, where De Niro doesn't act in bad movies, but instead he hosts his own podcast. That means he's making the rounds. He's going on Armchair Expert. He's going on Smartless to promote his podcast, Hanging with De Niro.
He's talking to, he's going on right now with John Goblikon, who's a guy who just dresses like a goblin.
Okay.
Or it could be an actual goblin, and he's sitting across from him, De Niro, sitting across from this goblin, talking, promoting his stuff.
Would the De Niro Hanging with De Niro podcast, would that be would they set up the podcast studio to look like a diner so that him and his guests are sitting across from a heat style diner table talking?
I think,
or it'd probably be it would be like
it'd be like this.
It would be like this.
It'd
Hey
be
guys.
like this. Hey guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
it would
he'd
be
be a
like this.
YouTuber. I mean,
He would be a YouTuber. De Niro would be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And we're YouTubers. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
But
Are we talking ourselves into this as like a good idea?
No.
Okay. I'm all right.
Not at all, because this is our space.
You're right.
This is
This thing of ours.
Yeah, this thing of ours is podcasting.
Yeah.
And De Niro should be acting, even if that means straight to Redbox movies and something like opening this weekend, The Alto Knights.